guys, welcome back to another video. This FPL season has just ended, so we'll be doing a season review. We'll be starting off with the Game Week 38 team review, followed by season performance data. We'll then be looking at our team players of the year. We'll be wrapping up with some season key wins and learnings. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode. We'll be starting off with the Game Week 38 team review. Game Week 38 was quite an exciting game week even before the matches kicked off, as many star players were benched, including Erling Haaland and many other premium players. If you did not actually get word on the news, you might have been stuck with Haaland in your team. Fortunately, we were able to change our team just in time, swap out Erling Haaland and bring in a man by the name of Harry Kane, who was the star performer for the game week and scored a massive 32 points as our captain. This along with Bruno Fernandes's 10 points, Mo Salah's 5 points, and another hero in the team, the defender at the back, Pedro Porro, with a massive haul of 13 points, made this an absolutely unforgettable game week to end the season with a bang. This allowed our team to accumulate a huge 71 points in Game Week 38 compared to the FPL average of 40 points. This also allowed our rank to massively gain and move from a previous rank of 28,000 in the world to 16,288 in the world out of more than 11.4 million FPL managers in the world. This puts our rank in the top 0.1% of all FPL managers. Quite an incredible and amazing season has ended with a bang. If you are wanting to achieve success, please carry on following us for more green arrow moves. This is some team performance data courtesy of FPL Review. If you're looking at your FPL rank, you can compare it to their free model, which will show you, compared to their predicted data, what they would expect your ranking to be had there not been any variance in terms of unexpected results and performances. They've also got a massive data model which uses slightly different criteria, and if you look at both, we were expected to end around 11,800 and 13,700 respectively, which ultimately means that our team underperformed in the sense that luck did not really go our way. However, we won't complain. The season overall, we did definitely have some lucky moments, so we'll take the good with the bad. If you're looking at captaincy data for the season, courtesy of Premier Fantasy Tools, our captaincy picks had a success ratio of 82%. That is 82% in terms of players that scored above the average. In terms of captaincy, there was also a total of 698 points that our captains scored, and they averaged close to 19 points per game week. So that was quite a decent success ratio. If you look at the individual captaincy details, you'll note that there was a lot of Salah and Haaland captaincies, mainly Haaland. If you're looking at the ones in the peach color, they often detect the ones that have not been successful, and those were either Salah, Haaland, and then Saka as well. Looking at any differential captaincies, mainly was Rashford, Kane, and then there was Tony also in Game Week 27. That was also quite a good surprise. And then a big swing in terms of points for us was in Game Week 20, where we put our triple captaincy armband on Haaland. Instead of what a lot of other FPL managers did was put it on Rashford in Game Week 22. The points differential was 12 points, and we were at the end of the season 13 points shy of the top 10k position. So that could have been also quite a massive haul. However, we won't complain again, as we had massive success, so we've got to take the good with the bad as well in terms of captaincy. The main theme in terms of captaincy was to be quite templates where necessary, especially the early part of the season. And then another idea that we did contemplate was captaining Wilson in Game Week 36. However, due to no confirmation that he was going to start, we reluctantly went for that and instead put our captaincy armband on Isak. It would have been also a massive swing had we done that. The captaincy differential between the two players was around 17 points. Then looking at the FPL Team of the Year in terms of our star players, on the left hand side we've got the Team of the Year in terms of our own FPL team who scored the most points. In goal we've got Kepa Arrizabalaga. In defence we've got Trippier, Estupiñán, Alexander-Arnold. In midfield we've got Mo Salah, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. Our forwards are Erling Haaland, Harry Kane and Ivan Toney. Quite a phenomenal team. Probably everybody bar Arrizabalaga, who one would say would possibly form the Premier League team of the season. Arrizabalaga, one could probably argue, should be replaced with David Raya, who had a stunning season. And then if you look at the bench, we've got Edison, Foden, Shaw and Castagna. Probably a bit of a mixed bag. Edison definitely would not form part of Team of the Year. Arguably could be David De Gea or Nick Pope or Alisson. And then Foden had a very good start of the season and then just never had much game time and wasn't as prolific. That would most likely be Odegaard. Shaw could probably rightfully take his place in the team of the season on the bench. Alternatively, I think one could also have an argument for Tyrone Mings, who was phenomenal. And then Castagna, he might also probably not be one of the stars. And there could be other contenders that one could consider in place of him. But as a differential, I think he definitely did his part. Then if you're looking at total luck per player on the right hand side, in terms of players that had the biggest impact on our team, as you can see, Harry Kane, including that last game week massive captaincy swing, he contributed a plus 20 in terms of luck. Castagna, he had a massive influence on our team, came in with some good clean sheets when Leicester were on a good run. And then also when we needed him to step up, he scored a goal as well towards the end of the season. Those are magical moments in FPL that one will definitely not forget. Erling Haaland, need I say anymore? He was included in my FPL team from game week 1, and when some people had doubts, that was the moment when he made a much more difference to FPL managers' teams, as he was not as highly owned, and then soon thereafter everybody started jumping on the bandwagon. Riyad Mahrez, we had him for a very short stint and he did reasonably well. Gabriel Martinelli, we had him for a short while, we jumped off, and when we jumped off, that's when he was quite prolific, and it was not something that one would consider in terms of sideways movement, often from Bukayo Saka to Martinelli, because it seemed that when Bukayo Saka did well, Martinelli wasn't as prolific and vice versa. And then Phil Foden, we had him at the start of the season. He was absolutely brilliant. He scored a hat-trick as well. So we were on his bandwagon at the right time. Mo Salah, we left him out on occasion, and that was within reason. Those points were probably made up elsewhere, including Ivan Toney or even Harry Kane when we had him. And then Ivan Toney, who had a massive season. Kieran Trippier, also a brilliant season. Soon after we realized that he was required in our team, we took a hit, brought him in, and never looked back. He's been in our team ever since. He was a season keeper. Callum Wilson, he did well when he was in our team. Nketiah, we held on a bit too long when we had him in our team, so hence why he had a negative impact. Similarly, Darwin, we had a bit of faith in Darwin, and then we also got a red card when he was in our team, so that impacted us negatively. Marcus Rashford, he was brilliant and he had a massive run of form. Pascal Gross, who had an incredible season as well, and he had a streak where he was unbelievable in FPL. And then Estupiñán, with many of his attacking returns coming just at the right time towards the end of the season as well. Next, we have got some key wins and learnings from the 22-2023 FPL season. The first one is identifying prior learnings and wins and fixing errors early. Also, if you've got any team bias, if you support a team or if you don't like a team, try to ignore that and keep the sentiment out of FPL. Number 2 is analyzing the best fixtures and form teams' players. Example, when Arsenal went on a strong run, when Leicester had some good fixtures. When Newcastle had some unbelievable fixtures, it's quite important to plan for this and to try to bring in those key players. Number 3, reassessing your playing style or strategy. For instance, this season, try to make no early transfers, as the budget in terms of FPL pricing was very generous, so there wasn't really any need to kind of build up team value. Also, try to avoid hits. This season I reduced my hits massively, as there was not as significantly upside in terms of double game weeks, and that was quite a change in my playing style. Number 4, plan to put yourself in a position to get lucky. That's quite important. You need to make sure that your planning is there, so that when your team does score, you know that that was something that you had planned. An example was Pedro Porro was brought in game week 37, not for that game week, but specifically for game week 38 when you ball. Number 5, timing of growth with differentials that can ball. Another example of this would be Caleb Wilson was brought in early ahead of game week 36. Even though we did not captain him, we managed to catch his haul. Number 6, keep the captaincy simple and captain the highest ceiling player. As you can see with the picture on the right hand side, Erling Haaland in most game weeks was our captain, with certain game weeks where he either did not play or did not have a high upside. We then looked at alternate captaincy options. Number 7, consider different combo players for best EV. This is quite important if you're trying to get the most bang for buck from your FPL funds. Then it's not only looking at one player in isolation, but looking at combination of players that will strengthen your team. Number 8, be flexible with your team structure to adapt quite easily. This is quite important, especially when you're moving premium players around. An example is a part of the season we had Mo Salah, then we shifted to Harry Kane, and that shift was quite important as it allowed us to structure our team to maximize and optimize our team performance. Number 9, balance FPL content and not overthinking it. This was the season where there has been a massive growth in FPL content. It's quite important to know what is the key FPL content that you favor and that's useful for your playing style, and consume only certain amount of FPL content, as too much FPL content can also impact your team and you might overthink some of your moves. Number 10, stay in touch with template high EO players. That's especially important at the start of the season, and thereafter it's important to make sure that you've got a mix of high EO players and certain differentials. Number 11, pre-match press conference news and body language. This is massively important, as it could identify certain favorable moves that other FPL managers might not. It's quite difficult to read all football managers such as Pep Guardiola, etc. However, if you notice a trend, then you could gain the upper hand. Number 12, focus before locking in your team, and very importantly, remember to have fun. This is a summary of the FPL Super League final standings for this season. In first place, and the winner of our 2022-2023 league, is Arnav God. Well done and congratulations, Arnav. Number 2, we have got PU Singla. Well done to you as well. In third place, we've got yours truly. Fourth place goes to Pedro Acevedo. In fifth place, we've got Supramaniam. Sixth place goes to Dennis Kuswanda. In seventh place, we've got Jamie Duncan. In eighth place, we've got Scott Jones. Ninth place goes to Kriton Motamari. And 10th place, rounding up the top 10, we've got Anderson Moreira dos Santos. Well done to everybody that's in the top 10, and also very well done to everybody that is not in the top 10 but that competed. It's been a very tough season, but well done to you for sticking it out. Hopefully you've actually enjoyed the season and you've enjoyed our content as well. And then finally, just a thank you for all the amazing subscribers and supporters out there for supporting us this season. It's truly appreciated, and enjoy the break before FPL returns next season. Until next time, cheerio.